Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about blue eyeshadow from DIOR, specifically how to wear blue eyeshadow in an elegant, sophisticated, not garish way. And we will be using the Denim palette. This is the 2020 formula. This is a beautiful harmony of blue eyeshadow, so that will be the star of today's show. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So here is our palette. What I like to do with blue eyeshadow or a lot of palettes is just transform my hand into a swatch paradise. That way we can sort of suss all the shades. We can see that we have different textures, different finishes. We have soft satin, we have a soft matte, we have more luminous high shine finishes, and we have different hues. We have this light aquatic blue, we have a deep dark navy, a more green teal, a teal that hits more blue and is more reflective, and then a gold. So from here you can decide, are you going to go a deep dark navy? I think I'm going into the lightest color. I want an aquatic mermaid eye look. I hope it doesn't clash too much with my blue linen shirt here, but we're going to go ahead and find out. So I'm going to use a couple of brushes, not that many. The ones that you do use are important. I'm using one from BK Beauty. This is the 203. This is fabulous for this type of look here because it's a blending and shading brush, so you can easily apply color but also blend a little bit. So that is the star brush basically for the eye look today. I'm going into this color here and I'm going to pack my brush pretty liberally with the color here. Now this look will definitely get some fallout, but I always do my eyes first. But especially with a blue eye look, you want to do your eyes first because when you apply concealer, what are you hiding? You're hiding dark circles, which usually come in the form of blue or purple. So if you're applying blue eyeshadow and get some fallout, please make sure to apply eyes first and then do the eyes afterwards. So I'm just packing this on the lid. This was very easy. It didn't really take much work. Now I'm just going to bring this up a little bit higher into the crease because I do have hooded eyes, and I'm just knocking the excess on a tissue here. I just want to be able to see this blue with my eyes just relaxed like they are. Just relax your face like this and just see if you can see the blue color up in the crease a little bit higher. And that's why I'm using this brush here, because I used it very, very easily for this part of the eye and then in the crease as well. So why not just simplify and make your makeup easier for you? I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and I'll be back in a moment. When I will remove some of the fallout, there's a little bit on the corner here. When I remove it, I always use a little bit of eye cream, because I know most people like to use an eye makeup remover on a Q-tip to remove it, but the eye makeup remover removes your skincare, removes your sunscreen, and removes everything. And you more than likely spent a good amount of money, of your hard-earned money, on your eye care, and you spent time applying it in the morning. So why are you removing it with eye makeup remover 10 minutes into your day? Use a bit of eye cream, eye mask, eye serum, whatever little samples you get when you make a purchase of any sort of eye contour treatment. Use a little grain of rice on a Q-tip and gently remove it. I swear, I promise it will remove all the makeup. It just does it and protects your eye, or keeps your eye protected with whatever good skincare you applied earlier. I'm now taking a big, clean, fluffy blending brush like this, and I'm just very gently, I'm holding onto the tip like the other side here, very gently, and I'm just blending this out. I don't want like a stark line between blue eyeshadow and flesh, so I'm just very softly blending it out. Going back to our palette here, I am going to go into another color just to deepen up the crease. I'm going to go into this color over here. So it's going to be this teal with a bit of iridescent finish, a bit of green. I think it'll be nice. I'm focusing it on the outer corner here. I'm just placing it in the V, just very lightly in the crease. I'm not going to take it in the corner, just outside here, just to deepen up the look a little bit. If you're very unsure about wearing blue eyeshadow, that is very fair. It can be quite daunting and intimidating. I recommend people try out new makeup looks in the evening. Why? Well, in the evening, like after dinner, once you've decided to settle into Netflix or whatever, just go ahead and play with your makeup, because you need to wash your face before you go to bed anyway. So you may as well just experiment. This is not something to try the first time in the morning when you're running out the door. You're going to add a lot of pressure to yourself. So just try this out very leisurely. You know, makeup's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. So just play around with it one evening and see what you create. And if you like it, you can take pictures of yourself. And if you don't, you can wash it off. I'm just going into a little bit more of a tapered brush. This is the BK Beauty 210, but I was using the BK Beauty 207. They're sort of cousins or sisters of each other. They're very stiff, dense pencil brushes. They're a bit round as well. So I used the bigger one, the 207, just to place a little bit of darker color. And then the 210, just very lightly blended it out a bit. And I'm going back into my clean, big, fluffy brush just to blend and marry those two colors together, just very softly. Going back into the small 210 brush, I'm going into both of these teals, just like this, just very lightly, knocking off a bit of excess. And I'm just going to trace this on the bottom. This will be my bottom eyeliner. Bottom eyeliner. I don't know if I said that properly. Sometimes I make mistakes and I don't notice until I'm editing, and then I'm just driving myself bonkers because I can't fix them in the past. Okay, now it's time to clean up the under eye, but I don't have any Q-tips, so I'm going to use a tissue, just a plain Kleenex, and I wrap it around my finger like this, and then I go into, this is the Chantecaille Stress Repair Concentrate. I put a little bit on the fingertip here, and then I just very easily remove any excess blue. I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely some bluish green eyeshadow on this fingertip. So use that tip at home if you don't have a Q-tip handy nearby. To finish up the eyes, I'm going into a black waterproof liner in the top, in the waterline, and then I'm going into a black mascara, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, let's move on to the complexion. Now we do need to have some sort of coverage here because this is a very dramatic eye look. It's not a you, but better. You definitely are wearing makeup here. So I'm going into my DIOR Forever Skin Corrector in 2WP. This is multi-use. You can use it as a concealer, a corrector, spot corrector, whatever you want. I like it because I get to do both at the same time. So I'm going to use it as concealer, but then also spot correct here and there. I know it looks a bit wild at first. I'm gonna let it just absorb, or not absorb, but just sort of set for a second, because if you do this, it will offer a bit more coverage. Now I'm going into my Sephora brand Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush 57. I've used it, I've had this for so long that like the lettering has rubbed off, but this here is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite brushes ever. It's great for under eye concealing. I'll show you in a second here. But this skin corrector, this one here, it blends really quickly. It's a nice coverage where it offers some skin correcting and hides some blemishes. It still looks like skin. It's just that with an eye look like this, you can't just, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I would recommend just offering some level of coverage to your complexion just to make sure that everything looks nice and uniform. Now for the eye, the reason I like this brush is that it just fits perfectly into the corner of the eye. And then I'm going into the inner part of the eye like this, under the eyebrow bone. I'm not adding anything, I'm just taking a bit of the concealer. And this brightens up because oftentimes we have darkness here because the nose, like the bone here, casts a shadow. So just adding your concealer here, just blending it like this, very lightly. I'm not scrubbing it in, I'm barely holding onto the brush, just very lightly, acts as a highlighter. We often think of highlighter as something very shimmery or very glittery, but to highlight literally just means to highlight with light, to remove the shadow. So even using something like a concealer, something matte, will highlight the inner part of the eye like this. It will add brightness and light. I'm going to add a little finishing touch to the eye. I'm going into a very tapered brush. This is the Rephr 03. I'm going into the gold highlighting color here in the inner corner, like on the tear duct, sort of, just like this, just to add a bit of highlight as well. But this one here will be a bit more shimmery and a little under the arch of the brow here, just like this. Next, I'm going into a powder. This is the DIOR Backstage Powder No Powder. It's a very watery, gel-based powder. Like, look at this. I can literally push my finger through if I wanted to. I'm in the shade 3N. This is a great powder if you have dry skin, dehydrated skin, mature skin. If you have oily skin, it's not for you. It's not mattifying. It's more blurring. It's a very, very blurring, beautifying powder. It also offers a nice level of coverage. It's definitely a light coverage, but it's just really pretty. And I like combining this with the corrector that I just used because it just offers the right level of coverage. You're going to get a soft, velvety coverage, very light, but it still unifies, you know, it's still going to hide some imperfections. It's still going to offer coverage while letting your skin look like skin. And you could definitely go into a, you know, liquid foundation that's like high coverage if you wanted to, but you could also do this combination here and it's going to just offer you a nice coverage. What's nice about the Backstage Powder No Powder is that there's a great shade range. I'm 3N, that's typically my shade range across DIOR, but they have other colors as well, so it's a very inclusive line, which is nice. So it's a great one if you're looking for like a blurring powder that's not very mattifying. But I do wear this sometimes in the summer for like a light skin coverage, you know, just do this very lightly. It offers a little bit of glow, not too much, but just enough. Now for the blush, I'm gonna go into my new Armani blush, number 10. This is like a peachy Your Cheek but better because the eye look is pretty dramatic. I want the rest of the makeup to be there, but you're not going to notice it. The focal point, the thing that's drawing you in here is the blue eyeshadow, but blue eyeshadow with a very dramatic blush and a dramatic lip, it's fine. It's definitely a bit more high fashion editorial, but if you're just looking to wear blue eye to go to brunch or something, go with something lighter. I really like this new shade from Armani, number 10. It really is Your Cheek but better in a soft, peachy way. It's, yeah, Your Cheek but better in a beautiful peach. It's not too orange, it's not too coral. You can see that I am wearing blush, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing blush. It just looks, everything looks really well balanced, which is the goal here. It's not to look like, wow, she's wearing a full face of makeup. It's, oh, she's wearing blue eyeshadow and no one else knows the rest. I mean, you know that I'm wearing a full face of makeup, but it doesn't have to look like it. For the lips, I'm keeping it super light. I'm going into my DIOR Addict number 004. This is Coral. It looks like a beautiful pastel dreamsicle fantasy. It has a little bit of peach, and I swear when you wear it, it doesn't look quite as intense. It looks a bit more muted, and this is going to pair very nicely with the peach in the blush here. It doesn't look like it now, but I'll just apply it. And these have a little bit of a plumping effect, but they just have a beautiful shade range. And Coral is nice. You can sort of see it sort of just melts into your lip. Here is the finished look, but we have to add a fragrance to complete the look. I'm gonna go into Rouge Trafalgar. This is part of the Maison Christian Dior private collection. It's not like J'adore or Miss Dior, it's a bit more niche, but this one is my favorite. It smells fruity. It smells fresh. It's sweet. It's not like a saccharine syrupy sweet. It's more just like raspberries and berries and just fresh red fruits, maybe some cherries. It's also incredibly long wearing. Like this clings to the clothes for days. It's really gorgeous. It's very expensive. I sort of coveted this perfume for years and then I finally splurged on myself. So yeah, this is the finished look here. The blush and the lip combination is a nice balance because, like I said, this looks more muted. It does have that coral effect, but it's softer. It's not quite as punchy, and it's just a beautiful harmony. It has a peachy blush with a peachy coral lip. The one thing that is sort of subtle that you may not pick up on is the eyeshadow is a soft satin. It isn't matte. It has a little bit of shine to it, and so does my lip. My lip is glossy, and the cheek has a little bit of glow to it. It's a blush that has, it's not a total matte, but it also doesn't have like a chunky glitter. It's just when you look at it up close, you can see it has a little bit of a healthy glow, sort of lit from within, but very, very subtly and naturally. And matching these three finishes adds a level of polish and sophistication that you will not pick up on. You're not going to pinpoint and be like, oh, that's why that looks good. It's just making sure that there's a harmony with these three, just sort of pulls it together and makes it look subtle. It's not subtle, but like the bottom of my face looks very subtle and natural, and it's just the eyes that are a surprise. So once you take off your sunglasses, it's like, wow, that is some makeup. But if you think of it like that, just trying to match the finishes of the different makeup, it's just going to elevate it in a very subtle way that no one is going to pinpoint. It's just going to bring it all together. Like you can have a different finish. You could go with a matte lip if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. I do that all the time. It's just sometimes when you do this sort of subtle thing, it elevates it in a very subtle, sneaky way that no one's going to pinpoint. And at the end of the day, that is how you want your makeup to come off. Anyway, this is my tutorial. This is my video for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this style of video with different products, different brands. Sound off in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, I talk about nothing but luxury beauty. I focus on French luxury brands, and I also like to revisit old and new collections and mix them together. It really helps you at home use up what you already own and get a fresh set of eyes and a fresh perspective on what you have. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. And on that note, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.